In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. George Orwell. Yeah. This is Blood Politics. The only podcast where we don't talk about politics. We be about politics. And our mission statement is to empower, educate, and encourage everyone to speak out against fascism. Speak out against injustice and fight for freedom and equality for everyone. This is blood politics, and we ain't stopping till they put us in the grave. We ain't gonna be quiet, and we ain't gonna be scared, and we ain't gonna go along with the crowd. This is blood politics.
All right, what is going on, gang? How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? April 22nd, 2026. My name's Brian. This is Blunt Politics. For some reason, Twitch doesn't agree with the title that I chose, so give me a second here as I try to rework the old Twitch stream behind the scenes for a second. Let's see, what else can we name it? They don't like the fact that I said Trump got bitch slapped, so we could do it immediately gets called out. Let's try that one since Twitch is having problems with the way I talk nowadays. Called out. See if that helps at all. My apologies to the people waiting over there on Twitch. Thank you to everybody on this space. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to Matt. Where is Matt, by the way? We're going to have to send like a fucking search party out for Matt. We're going to do a wellness check over there for the letter hack. I feel like it's been a while since I've, heard his voice, laid eyes on a video or anything that he's done. So I hope he's well. Hope everything's okay. But again, shout out to this space, all the mods over there. I very much appreciate you, all of the creators, everybody that's involved in helping out with that as well. But we're up and running on Twitch. We're up and running on Facebook. We're up and running on YouTube. We're up and running on Instagram and Substack. So please make sure you hit that like button. Join us if you could. What's going on, guys? What's happening? What's up, Lacey? Let me bring you guys in. Say hi to the chat as always, because you guys always deserve some screen time. What's up, Jim? How are you, my brother? What's going on, Lacey? What's up, Jeff? Very much appreciate you for being here. What's up, Sammy? How are you guys? What's going on, Carol? Nice to see you here. And shout out to all the patrons last night who showed up for the Zoom meetup. We got 4 of them each month on Mondays. Check out the calendar on bostonbrian.com to let you know when your related Zoom meetup will be. So I really do appreciate you guys for joining me last night. What's up, Victor? What's up, Tamara? What's up, Jeff? What's up, Rose? How are you guys? What's up, Jen? How are you? Hello from New York City. What's going on? Am I muted? Damon says muted. I don't know why that would be. I'm not muted. Are you muted? Or is it me? It ain't me. I don't know. Looks like my voice is carrying. But obviously lots to talk about, lots to discuss today. As usual, as typical, the ceasefire, the deadline has come. And as we expected, Donald Trump, once again, old bitch tits himself, decided to come up with some excuse. We kind of figured it was going to be some sort of like backdoor negotiations with either like the 17th squad of the Iranian delegation that he was going to say had really good talks with and allowed him to kind of, extend this ceasefire. But, as we saw here, it didn't last very long because reportedly the reports are coming out hot and heavy about Iran striking at least 3 ships that I've heard of, basically giving Donald Trump a big old slap in the face, a big old kick in the dick, as it were. When they say basically, hey, we're going to extend this ceasefire, but the blockade is going to stay in place. Iran says, well, we're going to have something to say about that. So we're going to be talking about that. We'll be looking at all of the, the statements, and like we've been doing the last few shows, kind of digging through the bullshit, trying to figure out what Trump is saying, trying to figure out what the Iranians are saying, and then obviously trying to figure out where the truth lies. We got a couple clips here from Jen and Pumps on I've Had It. I believe they're discussing Alex Jones's meltdown. I don't know if you saw Alex Jones's shirtless meltdown because of the final sale, I believe it was, of InfoWars to The Onion. So he had a mental breakdown, decided to just steam on to one of his shows with no shirt on, as you do. You know what I mean? As you do, typically. So we'll be taking a look at that clip. We got another one here from LBC James O'Brien and his Washington correspondent Simon Marks. So we'll be diving into that. We got a sugar ton of these Lego videos to dive through. Again, cutting them out fast and furious, hot and heavy. And what else we got through? Yeah, so we'll be digging through the news. We'll be digging through all of that, like I said. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Only got an hour with you on the early show today, but don't worry, anything that we miss on the early show, we got a show tonight, 8:30 p.m. That is a normal, regularly scheduled program of 2 hours. So again, like I said, anything that we missed today, you don't get to cover, we'll be covering tonight. A lot of updates as it pertains to Ukraine coming up this evening, coming up on tonight's show. So again, if that's something that floats your boat, if that fits your interest, then let me know and join me this evening. Once again, thank you to the chat. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Blunt Front. What's going on, guys? I really do appreciate you guys for being here every show. I really do. Thank you to Alan over there on Facebook. Very much appreciate it. What's up, Kyle? What's happening, my brother? What's going on, guys? How are you, Roxanne? What's up, James? What's up, Jamie? What's up, Ian? Let's go, guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, hit that like button on the way. And I know Wednesdays, typically the slow day, as it were. But what do you say? You hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show out. That way everybody knows that I'm live. Drag some people over here from whatever crap they're currently watching. Send them the right way. Send them over to the right way. You know what I mean? All right, let's get into the craziness. Let's get into the nonsense before we run out of time with all the issues that we're going to be talking about. But we will be starting off with some good news. Tonight. Not often that we get to do that. Not often that we get to, kind of rejoice and, get, consistently see this through line that we've been talking about continue as far as the victories on the blue side, the victories on the Democratic side, whether we're talking about special elections, whether we're talking about, special votes on certain topics or certain issues within certain states, or here, like we're talking about the redrawing of the Virginia congressional map here did in fact pass. You can see the yes vote 51.3 to 48.7. That was 1.498 million to 1.423 million. So let's see if we can just dive into a minute or two of this clip, just kind of getting everybody up to speed, up to date with what happened in Virginia, what that means as far as the House, what that means as far as, obviously the upcoming midterms, what kind of position that puts us in. So let's just see if we can get some insight and obviously get people up to speed, up to date that, aren't familiar with, haven't heard about the Virginia victory last night, and obviously the foot stomping and the head banging against the walls that the Republicans are doing. Again, the people that for the longest time now have been responsible for some of the most egregiously gerrymandered states, the most egregiously gerrymandered fucking maps that you've ever seen in your entire life, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys are privy to and have seen the maps of what some of these districts look like and how they're all, it's ridiculous at this point. It's gotten way out of control. And again, now that we're starting to, in some way, shape, or form, fight fire with fire, no problem with it. I say that's what we got to get. That's what we got to do. As much as I love and respect Michelle Obama, I couldn't disagree more with her statement than when they go low, we go high. Absolutely fucking not. That's not the time we're in. Maybe at some point in time we can get back to that. But right now, when they go low, I'm gonna dig a fucking trench under them sons of bitches. Okay, that's my motto. That's what I'm gonna do. They want to get dirty. Let's find a fucking mud pit. How about that? Anybody with me? All right, let's fucking roll. All right, so let's see if we can just dive into, like I said, a minute or two of this, kind of get everybody up to speed on what's been going on. A little bit of good news, a little bit of hope, right? Like we've seen consistently here, whether it's in purple states, whether it's in deep red states, purple districts or deep red districts, we've seen a very consistent through line, a very consistent theme of Democrats overperforming, comparatively to previous elections, previous voting cycles, previous data in those states and in those counties. So, all right, let's just see if we can dive in here. This is CNN. I think they bring, what's this guy's name? Harry Enton or the other guy? I always forget this guy's name. Dems redistricting. It doesn't say in the description. So fuck it. We'll find out together. How about that? All right.
We have some breaking news tonight as CNN can now project that Virginia voters have approved a Democratic plan to dramatically redraw the state's congressional map. 92% of the results are in, with just over 51% voting yes on the ballot measure. Now, if this map is enacted, it means Democrats could win 10 out of the state's 11 congressional districts.
And again, it seems like this was kind of early on in the election, in the calling here of what was going on. So again, whether or not these are the final numbers, the final calculations, I cannot stipulate to that. But again, the victory was achieved regardless. So the facts and the figures and how this kind of pertains to Democrats moving forward still remains here. So
the party at large in the fight for control of Congress. Harrington is here to join us. And Harry, obviously,
that's the guy, Harrington. My apologies. I always get him mixed up. Who's the other guy? Right? The guy that's always wearing the fucking slacks. The guy that's always wearing the khakis. Huh? Who's the guy that's always in the khakis? That's the guy. Harrington and what? Oh, Kornacki. That's the other guy. I always get them mixed up. It's like the same person to me.
A lot of questions of how this would go tonight. Tell us what we're seeing in these numbers so far.
Yeah, I would just say, look, the yes side won. Yes, they are probably going to end up lower than the percentage that Kamala Harris won in terms of the margin. But you know what? A win is a win is a win. And this means a lot for Virginia. And I will just note, just look at this. They have basically going to gerrymander this state rotten. They are basically going to lock Republicans out of power in a state where Donald Trump got 46% of the vote back in 2024. House seats Republicans in Virginia are only going to really end up with 9%. That is quite the imbalance that's going on here, right? Of course, this is part of a larger national picture as well in terms of...
And I was going to say, this is just the latest and probably, the most direct indication to the GOP, to people that are surrounding Donald Trump, that this is not going well, that this is like irreversible at this point. This is not seemingly something that they can claw back. They're not going to be able to portray themselves as being the victor of the spoils with Iran. They're not going to be able to perceive themselves as like, the Lord and Savior coming to rescue the American people from the overwhelming prices that they're paying right now. Like, none of this is going to be, retrievable. You know what I mean? So this is, again, a consistent through line that we've seen, whether it's in special elections that we've consistently talked about, whether it's in these different, the different elections and these different votes on the different topics and different subsets that people are voting on. We've seen a pretty consistent through line of people saying, fuck this administration. I'm voting for the blue candidate. I'm voting for the blue side, even though, again, we want them to consistently and continue speaking up more and more about this. So let's see here what else he puts in as far as this. But 46% in 2024 down to 9%. I mean, put that in perspective with all of the other races that we've seen. Put that in perspective with all of the other data that we've seen as far as polling for Donald Trump. Again, his approval rating right now, what he's done and what Netanyahu's done for the approval rating of Israel as a whole, whether it's in the Democratic side, whether it's on the Republican side, or whether that's the voting basis of both sides. You know what I mean? So all of these numbers, all of these things, all of these categories, all of these metrics are pointing in one direction, and that's to a blue fucking wave, right? The more and more we talk about the Senate coming back into play and being a real viable option here, the likely, and again, the worse the numbers get for the GOP, the worse the numbers get for Donald Trump. Like, that should be a clear indication for the Republicans that, that this is not only slipping away from them very fast, but has already slipped from their fingertips. And right now they're just trying to, again, try to cheat and steal and rig behind the scenes, try to get Tulsi Gabbard involved, try to go over there into Fulton County, try to get into Colorado, try to, pressure different states into handing over voter rolls so they could kick people off. So when you go to vote, they're going to say, oh, sorry, you're not on the list anymore. It's not, that's strange. You don't seem to be here anymore. And then it's going to take you a little bit of time and probably a process to get on the voter registration, which means if you wait till the day of, you're probably not going to get to vote, which is what they're hoping for to begin with. As we know, they've talked about putting ICE officers at voting stations. They've anything that they could possibly do, changing voting laws, changing the mailing registration laws, right? When these ballots actually get calculated, what the date is. So again, I continue to tell people, look, make sure that you're on these voter rolls. Make sure that you're registered. Make sure that you're up to speed on whatever the rules and regulation changes are in your county, in your district, in your area, right? Know when the mail-in voting has to be in, know when it has to be out, know what has to be signed, know why it has to, like all of the things that you have to know, make sure that you know, because they're going to try to change these little minuscule rules all over the place to try to fucking trip you up, so they can have any excuse, any reason whatsoever to throw your ballot in the trash. And that's how they're going to try to at least not get their asses kicked as much as it looks like they're going to. Again, I don't think they have any illusions of like defeating us both in the House and the Senate when it comes to midterms. I think that's, again, well past reality. Even if they do try to cheat until their fucking heart's content, at this point they're just trying to mitigate the loss. They're trying to mitigate the damage. And again, I don't put it past them for attempting any illegal bullshit behind the scenes to try to make that happen.
Districting. And this to me is what is so interesting, right? Oh, we've had all this redistricting, right? It started in Texas. Then it was California. We've done Ohio. We've done North Carolina. We've done Utah. But heading into tonight, pre-Virginia results, the net gain from this mid-decade redistricting was really 0 seats, neither side gaining. But now is where we are right now with the Virginia measure passing. Democrats jump out ahead. They are the ones leading in mid-decade redistricting, leading right now by 4 seats on the strength of that yes vote, however thin that margin actually is.
So, Harry, I mean, obviously, Senator Warren was just talking about 6 months from now, the midterm elections. What could this mean for the fight for who controls Congress here?
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the House of Representatives, and you're down in Washington, D.C., so you know a heck of a lot more than I do, I would just say this. The power right now, it's so...
Chirpy! What's up, brother? What is happening, my dude? Good to see you, my friend. Very good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. W's in the chat for fucking Turpy, my dude. What's happening over there on Twitch? My guy. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. We just got the OGs coming back. We got Tanya coming back in to say hi. We got Turpy. We're getting the whole fucking band back together at this point. Let's fucking go. Imagine we could be like a full force, a full unit again heading into midterms. Like, let's start smoking people. Let's go, brother. Nothing fired me up more than that. Let's go. All right. I'm back. My apologies. I'm back.
So tight, right? Every vote is so tight in the U.S. House of Representatives. So you just take a look here, and this gives you the math of why this vote was so important. If you talk about the margin of the GOP majority in the House post the 2024 election,
again, important
it
stuff
was
here.
Two seats. That's how many seats they could lose on a vote before losing the majority. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about Democrats gaining 1, 2, 3, 4 seats. 4 seats in Virginia. The simple math here is 4 is greater than 2. Without Democrats needing to pick up any more seats, this would eliminate the Republican majority and instill a Democratic majority because the margins are so tight. This vote in Virginia means so very much, and that's why all that money was spent on it. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, a ton of money. On thank you for doing that math for us.
I know, it's very hard, very hard.
This is why we keep you around.
That's right.
Harriet, thank you for that.
But again, this is on top of a GOP, right? On top of a Republican House that is already walking on fucking eggshells, that was already fighting from behind, whether it's because of people resigning, whether it's because of people dying, whether it's fucking whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they've already been behind the 8 ball. So to add on all of the losses that we've seen recently, to add on all of the fucking pain, all of the damage that has been done by Donald Trump to the polling numbers, to the trust that the cult-like base had for Donald Trump at one point. And, I'm not saying that's totally eradicated by any means. There's always going to be that sycophantic base. We continue to say, those people that are, closest, that are holding directly on to Donald Trump's taint, right? That are clutching so desperately to the back of Donald Trump's coattails to hope that he pulls, some victorious fucking, achievable victory out of his ass, But these people are going to be there till the end. There's only a certain percentage of this group that's going to be able to, either, get away from the MAGA cult altogether. Inevitably, some of them are going to go to the America First, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones type of crew. So that's going to be a next fight. That's going to be our next battle. But it's these people are going to be they're going to hold on tight. Again, they're going to be the generals and the people that were surrounding Hitler in his bunker in the last days of his life. Right there, there's just no reason to go on with life if there's no fear, no reason to go on with life if there's no National Socialism. Like, that's how MAGA that's how these people are going to think. Right? They're going to think, well, it's not worth being involved in politics anymore if there's no Donald Trump. If I can't have MAGA, then why am I going to get involved anyways? And hopefully, to a certain degree, that happens. The Republicans inevitably sit their fucking fat asses on the couch, don't get out to vote, and we can finally, regain and retake some power in this country and start fucking doing right by the people once again. Maybe, possibly, hopefully. I'm just saying. All right, but that was a little bit of maths, a little bit of numbers there, percentage wise, to tell you how much of an effect this will have. Again, going into midterms, any benefit, any improvement, any win, any victory is something that needs to be highlighted, is something that needs to be shouted from the rooftops. We need to hammer away again at this, this GOP party that's ready to steal this fucking election, whether it be the midterms or the general, by any means necessary. So the more people know, the more people that know about these, these victories, the more people that know about the, kind of the tidal wave that is coming, the through line that we consistently see in these elections, the more people will be calling it out if they see something fishy, right? If something doesn't line up. So again, I find it hugely important that we continue to boast about the good things that are happening, and kind of the direction that the people are wanting to push this country. So very much appreciate the people of Virginia for getting out there who cast their vote. What do you see if we can dive on, unfortunately, to the coverage of what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz? This obviously another taco session by Donald Trump. Obviously good to see. Obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's any morning you wake up and you don't have bombs dropping to the extent that they were, or to the extent that they could be, is a good day. But that's not to say that bombs weren't dropping. So let me see. I'm going to put this on your screen. Here's we're just going to go through this again. A couple of the statements that have been put out by both sides. We'll go through what Trump's been saying. We'll go through some of the accounts that we've been looking at recently to see if there's any updates from the Iranian delegation, people that are affiliated or associated with each side, to see what the fuck is actually going on, how far Iran intends to take these retaliations, that we've been talking about as far as the ships that were hit. So let's see here. This is Donald Trump. And again, he put this out 21st. So yesterday, 4:09 p.m. And again, we called this on the show, and not to pat myself on the back too hard. I know a lot of people probably suspected this, but, we said that he was going to pull something out of his ass. He was going to pull a rabbit out of his hat and say that he talked to some fucking, seventh string linebacker that used to play for the Iranian national football team. And that gave him the ability. And now he trusts them so much that he gets to push off this deadline. And now we got another extension onto the ceasefire. Again, a ceasefire in which, what is this, like the fourth or fifth time? I think we have one of them that kind of explains it, so I won't jump the gun. But this guy was negotiating with himself to begin with, still seemingly is, considering nobody showed up to Islamabad, right? So it went from like a 48-hour pause, and then it was a 5-day pause, and then it was a 10-day pause, and then it was another 48 hours. It's like this whole thing is just like, at what point does everybody in the world go, all right, this guy's bluffing every time he says something, he's bluffing. Like, why would we trust or take his word for anything at this point? But all right, let's read the statement. He says, based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, none unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asmir Munir, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. And again, I say, this is now the second time that Donald Trump has come out and said, okay, the Pakistanis have said jump, and I'm going to say how high. But again, not taking into account that he's the president of the United States, and the people of his own country do not want him to engage in this. And again, by the overwhelming majority, do not want to be engaged in this. The powers of the president, again, are rapidly closing in on him, and hopefully going back to Congress as far as them not authorizing the continued military use in this fucking useless, illegal, unconstitutional war that we've engaged in here. But you know what I mean? It's just a lot of these people sit here and they think that they're going to be able to defend this to the end, and it's just not possible. Right? This is the second time that he's doing shit supposedly for Pakistan, but not representing the people, not talking about that his own country doesn't want this to happen. His own people are being hurt by this. So it goes to show where his mindset is and how he's so desperate to have any excuse out of this. He's not thinking whatsoever about the American people, but anything that he could possibly say to get his ass out of this. And again, is this because the United States is low on their munitions that they need? Are they not in a position to continue this war right at this moment until they have, the stockpiles necessary? We've heard the reports of the interceptors, not only of the United States, but also the allies in the region that were getting very fucking low. We've heard the reports of the European allies being told that they weren't going to get their weapons platforms that they were supposed to get because of the amount that has been used in this war, because of the low stockpiles, because of the time it's going to take for us to, revamp those stockpiles. I'm just saying it's something to think about, to say the least. He says, I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will and therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded, or one way or another. So basically, there's no deadline. It's just kind of an infinite ceasefire at this point. Doesn't say 2 weeks, doesn't say 1 week. I know Sean Hannity was trying to, he was on his show talking about how his inside sources were saying that this wasn't going to last very long. Well, apparently it didn't last very long. And it wasn't because the United States took action. It was because the Iranian side took action. So let me see here, because this was the reporting here from any number of outlets that we could talk about. This one being from Politico. This was, some of the original reporting. So I think it even went up to 3 ships, if I'm not mistaken here. It says Iran reports seizing 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz hours after Donald Trump's ceasefire extension, right? Here's another one. This one by Dropsite. Iran seizes 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump extends U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Israel commits 220 ceasefire violations in Lebanon in 3 days. And again, the footage coming out of, some of the territory there in Lebanon, looking very strikingly similar to what Gaza looked like. And again, that was the clear intentions. That was the clear goal stated by the Israeli officials that came out right when this started and said, we plan on turning this area, this portion of Lebanon, into Gaza. Like, that's what they want it to look like. They want it completely demolished, and they seemingly are on their way to doing that. But here's just kind of, a few reports. Here's one by Fox News having to report Iran has reportedly attacked multiple ships in the Strait of Hormuz after President Trump extended the ceasefire. Again, a clear kick in the dick, as you would say here, a clear show of power, I would say. What it leads to, where it goes from here, is anybody's guess. But again, this is a clear, hey, if you're going to keep that blockade on, then we told you we're going to retaliate, and this is us retaliating, clearly showing, somebody that is not weak in this position, right? Clearly not showing somebody that's willing to capitulate in this position, clearly willing to show their power and ability, not only ability to fight, but willingness to continue to fight. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. This is posted by an account called Infogram, and he said, this is absolute cinema. Monday, Trump extends ceasefire by 48 hours. Tuesday, Trump extends ceasefire till 28 March. Wednesday, Trump extends ceasefire by another 48 hours. Thursday, Trump finally extends ceasefire by a week. Friday, Trump extends ceasefire to 21 April. Saturday, Trump extends ceasefire by another 48 hours. Trump has become a global laughingstock. And again, I don't know where this account is from, what side they're on, but they seemingly, they pretty much have it spot on as far as this is concerned. I mean, the ridiculousness of the negotiations that Donald Trump is pretty much engaged in with himself, right? Like, Pakistan's not in this. Pakistan is just trying to mediate, right? So why are we agreeing to Pakistani request? You know what I mean? It's like the whole thing that we're agreeing to the mediators' proposals and requests instead of the people that are on the other side of the negotiating table, like the people that we're supposed to be negotiating with and trying to, engage in peace talks with and trying to get back to some position of normalcy with. Like, instead, we're negotiating and, taking talking points and agreeing to things that the mediator is putting forward. You know what I mean? Like, that's how fucking ridiculous this whole situation is. It's crazy. It's just fucking out of control. And the other side's basically got a big middle finger to the United States the entire time. And we're talking to the mediator. It's just crazy. And this is Sean Hannity here. He says, sources tell me that the ceasefire extension in Iran will be short-lived unless a deal is reached quickly. And again, I don't think he had the intentions or insights that it was going to be the Iranians attacking ships just hours after Donald Trump announced this. But that's exactly what we got, and we'll take a look at more of that. But I want to take a look at this, too, because this was posted by a few different accounts. This one posted by RT. I forget where the original one was posted. Maybe this one. This was posted by John Cooper as well. He says, this video posted by Iran's consulate in Hyderabad, which mocks Trump for his latest ceasefire extension already, isn't as sophisticated as the Lego videos, but it still must drive Trump crazy. So again, a poorly done AI video, I will say, and like John Cooper said, not as engaging and not as kind of eye-catching as the Lego videos. But let's see if we can take a look at this. This is, again, just less than a minute, 45 seconds, and this is posted again by the Iranian consulate. So does this show a willingness to negotiate, capitulate, any of those things. Here it is. Just again, 45 seconds of the Iranians making fun of Donald Trump for another taco bitch out moment. Let's see here.
We are having very great negotiations with Iran. If Iran doesn't come to negotiate, we're going to bomb them.
2,000 years later.
So where are the Iranians? This is from Iran. All right. Then I will extend the ceasefire at Pakistan's request.
So again, obviously portraying the American delegation there at the talks, at the table there, ready to engage in talks, but having nobody to engage in those talks with, subsequently getting a letter saying that they're not coming, and then making up the excuse that they'll do it at the Iranians, at the Pakistanis' request, right? Again, just showing you how ridiculous, ill-conceived, ill-planned, like chaotic this whole situation is. I know you guys are aware, but it never ceases to amaze me that even to this point now, there's like it becomes more, it's getting more chaotic, right? It's not getting less chaotic, it's getting more chaotic. It's like, at what point does somebody with a fucking clear and level head at any level, at any stage in the government decide to step up? I'm not sure. Again, like I always say, your guess is as good as mine. But let's go on with a couple of these other ones here. This is the Kobisi letter, which we've been taking a look at recently just to get some insights. This was posted 4 hours ago, saying, breaking: Iran's IRGC issues a warning suggesting it could cut undersea internet cables and cloud infrastructure in the Persian Gulf. Again, another clear escalation, another clear problem that the United States would have to contend with, and obviously different partners and people in the region that rely upon such internet cables and cloud infrastructure. And again, as we've been saying and warning about, we still haven't seen the Bab el-Mandeb Strait situation come to fruition. So again, the Iranians have recently been coming out with this rhetoric of, new plans that they have, whether it be different weaponry or just different plans geographically they have to put more hurt, more pain, more pressure on the world economy. So again, keeping our eyes, tightly locked in on the Houthis in Yemen, their proxies in the Bab el-Mandeb, but, just more, indications, more evidence here of how this could be further detrimental to the people in the region. And again, whoever relies on these internet cables, cloud infrastructure, obviously that's relied upon heavily in today's day and age, as you can see. But let's just see here if there was anything else reported. I'll do a quick refresh just to see, so we can get all the latest and up-to-date information for you guys, so we're not behind on anything. I think that was it here. So, yeah, that looked like it was it on this one. This is talking about oil prices rise above $93 a barrel after Iran says they have no plans to attend peace talks with the U.S. on Friday. So, again, talk about the chaos. Look no further than the ridiculous rise and drop in the price of oil. Donald Trump says something like the war's over. The price fucking shoots down. The Iranians shoot, a vessel. They stop and close the Strait of Hormuz. They say they're not engaging in the peace talks. Next thing you know, the price of oil is fucking shooting through the roof. You know what I mean? It's like this whole thing. And again, one thing that a person that's not affiliated or associated or acquainted with the stock market knows, that instability, chaos, right? When you don't have that like kind of predictability in the stock market, not that it's predictable, but to a certain extent, you could say that it is. When you don't have that doesn't really draw in investors, right? That's not really when people start investing in the United States. That's not when people start, putting loads of money into the stock market or back into the economy, right? People start holding on to their money. People start clutching those dollars that they have because of the uncertainty, because of the unpredictability. We don't know. What if it does inevitably get to $250 a barrel? Right? What happens from here? We don't know. That's why, I always say that I recognize the financial position, the financial crunch that all of you viewers, everybody that watches podcasts and live streams like this, everybody's asking you to please donate here and contribute to this and buy this merch. And, I'm right here with those people. But I do feel like I'm one of the only people recognizing that you guys are spread thin and that not everybody can contribute, not everybody can participate in those things, and that I understand and appreciate that you guys support so many different channels, aren't so engaged that, a lot of times you're just not able to come out of pocket, which is why I don't charge, for content, right? You guys are never going to have to pay to see a live stream. You're never going to have to pay to see a short or video that I put out that is, deemed important by me, obviously enough to get in front of a camera and put it out there. You guys are just never going to have to pay for that. I appreciate and very much love all of the support that you guys show me, and it's very necessary to keep this show running, but that's only with like the benefit. If I give you some benefit during your daily life, some information on a certain subject that is beneficial to you. If you enjoy the chat and the community that we've built, like I want to be able to give you something for your support, right? I don't want to just make you guys continuously just like throw money at something because everybody keeps asking you to. It's just not the way I want to do things. So hopefully that's recognized. Let's see here. We'll move on. See if there's anything here. Here's MB Galabaf, another one that we've been kind of trying to follow as far as information coming out of the this is Speaker of the Islamic Republic of Iran's parliament. Again, just to get his official title down in case I haven't said that before. But doesn't look like he's been doing anything. Looks like 55 minutes, he said. A complete ceasefire only makes sense if it's not violated by the maritime blockade and the hostage-taking of the world's economy, and if the Zionist warmongering across all fronts is halted. Reopening the Strait of Hormuz is impossible with such a flagrant breach of the ceasefire. They did not achieve their goals through military aggression, nor will they through bullying. The only way forward is to recognize the rights of the Iranian nation. Again, just not showing me capitulation, not sending me a signal like they are ready to, again, engage in this talks that Donald Trump is trying to portray that they're ready to engage in. Here's another one. This is from Dolphin Iran. Let's see if there's anything that we could see here. Just kind of going back a few hours in the timeline and see if we can get up to current time. This is 1740, April 21. America has so far assaulted 2 Iranian ships. With the end of the ceasefire deadline, the military response to the maritime blockade will begin. This is a short time after that. Excuse me. As long as the naval blockade continues, negotiations will effectively remain stalled. Again, a talking point, a line in the sand, a red line that Iran has drawn and was sticking to that wasn't kind of, wasn't obliged by Donald Trump. So that's why we didn't have these talks. Strategic assessment here. The ceasefire will end around 3 a.m. on Wednesday, which we saw. The enemy's behavioral pattern indicates the strike will be delivered before this hour. Iran will respond to any strike with an unlimited retaliation. Again, showing you their willingness to retaliate. Let's see if there was anything else here. Strategic assessment. This was 1308. 2 ships were seized by the IRGC Navy and transferred to the Iranian coast. That was 7 hours ago. Goes on to say here, a Panama flag ship owned by the United States has been struck in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran considers all U.S. vessels legitimate targets. Goes on to say here, assessments. Oh, where'd it go? Assessments indicate that one of the main reasons for Trump's unilateral extension of the ceasefire is the severe shortage of ammunition for the United States and the regime. Right, so they're even picking up on some of the reporting, on some of the rumors that have been floating around behind the scenes. Again, trying to jab Donald Trump in the side just a little bit to piss him off, even above and beyond the Lego videos, even above and beyond the AI videos. Now, basically showing that he's not only a coward, but he's also incompetent because he doesn't have the correct amount of munitions to continue the war, as suggested by that post. This says drone sightings continue in the skies over various regions of the country. The Israeli regime has instructed its internal agents to launch a major project aimed at creating discord and disseminating false information against various pillars of the Iran's governance. The regime's physical agents have been tasked with conducting field operations against the country's officials under various real and virtual cover identities. This operation will commence in the coming hours. And then the latest post here by this account says 3 minutes ago, Somalia has announced a ban on the passage of ships linked to the Israeli regime through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. What the fuck have I been saying? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Is this the beginning? But this is Somalia. So it's not even the It's not even the proxy. It's not even the Houthis that are doing this. So Somalia has announced a ban on the passage of ships linked to the Israeli regime through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. No. Trying to rack that in my head here. Maybe throw that in the old brain machine, see what I can calculate on that one. But again, like I said, it was only a matter of time before the Bab el-Mandeb Strait decided to, rear its head, decided to become a player in this game. There's only a certain amount of geographical positions, geographical areas in which they can control in order to continue this, in order to have some sort of leverage in this, and that is one of them. Right. So, again, it was only a matter of time. But this, again, is Somalia, not the Houthis. Whether or not the Houthis are going to activate as a result of this, obviously something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. So this was the Clash report reporting on the two ships that were seized. Iran seizes two ships despite U.S. attack pause. Iran seized two ships and fired on others after Trump halted attacks, but maintained a naval blockade. Mediation efforts by Pakistan have stalled amid persistent tension. Let's see here if there's anything else been reported. Trump tells the Post News fresh off peace talks possible as soon as Friday with Iran, as Iran scrambles to come up with a unified plan. So we've also talked about reports that even if peace talks were to be engaged in, it could be as much as 6 to 9 months before a deal is actually settled. So again, we're looking at a pretty consistent theme of these prices being either erratic, chaotic, or consistently high for quite some time. Trump, good news about the second round of talks may come as soon as Friday. This is renewed possibility of peace talks within the next 36 to 72 hours. It's possible. So again, a little bit more market manipulation, a little bit more propagandizing by Donald Trump there, basically hoping to keep the market stable at least until Friday, until some sort of other announcement can be made. So he doesn't want to see the rise that we talked about. Let's see, what are oil prices up to at this point? Let's see. Take a quick look at oil prices for you guys. So right now, even a steep rise since we saw last night. So we were talking about this last night on the Zoom meetup. Once again, appreciate the patrons that are signed up there. Sign up at patreon.com/Boston Brian. Gets you access to the Zoom meetups that we have 4 times a month now, every single Monday. Different categories get to join in on certain days. So again, depending on what level you signed up there, make sure you check that one out. Obviously, get a discount to the merch if you sign up to the Patreon as well. Awesome perks that we've been trying to add new on there as well. So the WTI is 93.09, Brent crude up to 101 again, which is something that you can tell Donald Trump has seen, and which is why he's probably putting out these statements that he put out as far as like these peace talks are going to come soon. Everything's like A-okay. It's all hunky-dory. Don't worry about it. Keep your money in the stocks is pretty much what he's getting at there. But, you can see the steep rise. That was about 93, if I want to say, last night, guys. If you were in the Zoom meetup, let me know if you remember. I think it was about 93, 95 or something like that. And WTI was 89-ish, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see, obviously, they're plus 3.39%, plus 3.44% on Brent crude. But let's see if we throw this back on, see if there was anything else reported here by Clash Reports, who seemingly has been doing some good reporting as far as this situation is concerned, at least. But, all right, that seems to be all that is there. And then we had this one to get into. This was just a quick live now update to see if we could get any more information on what was going on with those two ships going on in the Strait of Hormuz. So let's see if we can dive into a minute of this, see if we get any more insight.
Bringing us out to a live look at the radar system there at the Strait of Hormuz, courtesy of marine traffic. The Associated Press just coming down with this, that Iran's semi-official news agencies are now reporting that the paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has attacked a third ship in the Strait of Hormuz, throwing into question efforts to end the war.
I thought I heard that before I came on. I thought there was a third ship involved.
It's all reported the attack by the Guard on a vessel called the Euphoria. They said the vessel had become, quote, stranded on the Iranian coast without elaborating. The Guard has seized the other two ships that were attacked, according to Iranian state television, who separately reported that update. Also, U.S. forces have boarded an oil tanker previously sanctioned for smuggling Iranian crude oil in Asia, according to the Pentagon.
So again,
and
as it's reported here, apparently a third ship involved. Just looking at the instability right now, right? Like the fake ceasefires that keep being announced, the fake extensions that keep being announced. Really nothing. What's changed, right? We still have both sides threatening escalation. We have Donald Trump on one side continuously threatening the eradication of an entire civilization. You got Pete Hegseth out there saying that we're locked and loaded, ready to go. Israel's picking out new target packages in Iran. So what comes of this, especially after these recent strikes in retaliation for Trump keeping the blockade in place, remains to be seen. But of course, we'll be sure to keep our eye on it. Unfortunately, we're rapidly running out of time in this. So let's see if we can go through a couple of these before we do. We'll probably have to save some of these for the late show tonight, but probably not a terrible thing because these are coming out, like I say, hot and heavy at this point. Not all of them are as good, I got to say. The OGs in this game, Persia Boy, there's a couple other ones. They know how to do it right. The other knockoffs here are good. They're good, but they ain't as good. So, but it's getting kind of tougher and tougher the more of these accounts that decide to come out with these. Here's one of the newer ones, United States of Israel, it's called. So we say if we can dive into this one real quick, and like I said, we might have to save a few of them for the late show. The hour went by so fucking quick. Again, when you're diving into nonsense, the time goes by so quick. But here's one of the latest drops. As you can see here, Bibi Netanyahu putting the Star of David around the neck of Donald Trump in the Oval Office with a Lego set. Let me get out of the way. You can see the Lego set just where I was being presented to Donald Trump by the Secret Service with the big Israeli symbol on the dome there. So let's see what we get into. Let's see what trouble we can get into in this one.
United States of Israel, that's your resume. Killing children every day. While you look away, United States of Israel. Netanyahu's pet, Trump is a pedophile. Don't you forget. 4 years of tweets at 3 a.m. unhinged and unwell. Bro, go to sleep. The Oval Office turned into a circus tent from hell. Your reliability wrapped in the spray tan and the tie. The tie, though, taped in the back. Even your suit is a lie.
He's covered in shit. He's just got a suit and a handful of shit. pretty spot on, right? Again, no notes on this one. Probably smells how he looks in this. True, the same way.
You said I alone can fix it. Fixed what? The grift, sir. This is a Wendy's. Gave your whole family government jobs as a gift.
Fix what, sir? This is a Wendy's.
Mar-a-Lago mansion, classified docs on the floor. What was that? Box of secrets by the bathroom.
Oh shit! They got they even got the top secret documents, the classified documents in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. Wow, they're going deep here. They're going deep, throwing Hail Marys. I like it. This one connected.
I'm really rich, said the man who begs for donations. LMAO, selling Bibles and sneakers to a broke nation. Go play the toilet game.
Selling Bibles and sneakers to a broke nation. Damn.
Flush the truth is giving con man every indictment just more proof. You don't run a country, you run a brand. A broke one. 6 bankruptcy built on stolen land. The people who voted for you still can't afford their rent. Mega magic, baby. That's where all your promises went. United States of Israel. That's your resume. Killing children every day. While you look away.
The BJ Queen. You see? Did you see his? Look at his pajamas. I might be in the way.
Children every day.
While you look away.
Hold on. Let me get out of the way. Look at his pajamas. BJ Queen. Jesus Christ. Bright pink too. Bright pink.
United States of Israel.
Netanyahu's dead.
Trump is a pedophile.
Trump is a pedophile with a brick wall saying Epstein Island on it. Fucking hammering away.
Don't you forget. You marketed fear and sold it to the working class. Facts. Promised them the world, gave them nothing but gas. Your voters lost their jobs, their health, their home. It's the stock market though. Yeah, for people with portfolios and second homes and loans. BB pulls the strings and you perform the dance. Good boy. Guys are burning while you clap and chant. You call it peace deals. We call it what it is. Genocide shit. Blood on the hands of your whole administration's beards. From Iran, we're watching every move you make. See you. Every child killed is a lie. You'll never shake. You threaten us on Twitter like we tremble and fold. Nah, son, Iran don't get threatened. Iran just gets cold. You know.
So, like I said, there's a ton of these coming out. There's this one as well. I don't know what this one's about. It says deal will be signed tonight. Maybe this is about the the recent non-negotiations that were taking place. I'm just trying to fly through these. I know we're running out of time here.
You said tonight. Tick tock, tick tock. You said tonight. Wednesday's coming. Wednesday, there will be signed tonight. That's what he said. Posted on his phone, went straight to bed. Fox business cameras rolling big speech. Next morning, crickets, silence out of reach. Then Monday came, nothing happened again. Tuesday arrived, same old pattern, same old spin. Now Wednesday's knocking at the door. You box yourself in, there's no room for more.
Witch hunt, fake news.
Clock is ticking, red light flashing, whole world watching while you're busy crashing. JD Vance black and bag for Islamabad, trying to save something that you already had. Wednesday, you said the deal gets done. Wednesday, what you couldn't even make it to one. Wednesday, deadlines hearing us still talking. Wednesday, while the whole world's walking on eggshells, waiting, watching it stall. Wednesday hit and you got no deal at all.
Oh shit! With the Pulp Fiction, we got Pete Hegseth here reading from the scriptures of Pulp Fiction. Let's see what this one is. Like I said, we're kind of rapidly running out of time. Sorry, we can't give these the due diligence it deserves. What's this one all about? Let's check it out. Yeah, this is a Persia boy, right? This is a Persia boy. You can see your browser's lost connection. Damn. Hold on. Let me see. For some reason it lost connection. Doesn't want me to show you guys the videos here. What's the deal? YouTube's trying to crack down on these things? YouTube's trying to crack down on these or what? What's going on? Let me throw them back on the screen here. We'll do it the odd way. There we go. Now again, this is one of the OGs. Okay, this is one of the OGs. This is Persia boy Hemet, right? At least this production agency has been the ones kind of putting out the bangers for real. So let's see if this one is in line with the rest of them. Let's see what this one is. It says Lego style music video from Persia boy. What's this one about? AI generated track takes aim at the U.S. naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz stalemate. Bright plastic figures. Yes, you don't have to explain to me what the figures are. I just wanted to know what the music video is. All right, here we go.
Yeah, they're waiting at the table, but we ain't showing up. What? Ghost in the empire. Trump waiting in Pakistan, but Iran said nah, retire. You want the deal, better learn some respect. We ain't rushing to the table while your blockade still flex. Ghost in the empire. You talk big on Truth Social, we just hit ignore. You seized our ship, now you want peace talk? Sit there and wait, we control the clock. You dropped 7 lies in 1 hour, got exposed quick. Khaled Bath called you out, every claim was bullshit. Now you rushing to Islamabad thinking we'll fold, but we ain't sending nobody while your Navy still bold. You seized the toast, carded victory on TV. Now crying for talks like you really need me. We remember every broken deal, every lie you told. 1953 vibes, we ain't getting sold. Ghost in the empire. Trump waiting in Pakistan, but Iran said nah, retire. You want the deal, better learn some respect. We ain't rushing to the table while your blockade still. You say the Strait is open under American control. Funny, last time I checked, it's still under our patrol. You want uranium, keep dreaming that's never gonna happen. While your Navy sits there blocking, we just keep on laughing. Ceasefire almost done. Tension getting higher, you thought we come running now. We ghost in the empire. IRGC on standby, Hormuz in our hand. You want a meeting, better change your whole plan.
again, just not sound like a side that wants to capitulate, right? Not a side that says like, we're done with this, or we don't have the upper hand, or we're not going to continue fighting or anything like that. Just not the vibe that I'm getting. I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know in the chat if you're getting a different vibe from this. And I know they're coming from different sources, and it's, to a large extent, it's hard to tell which ones are actually coming from, Iranian sources and stuff like that. But the Persia boy ones typically are spot on, like we just saw, like, the lines in the sand, whether it's the uranium, whether it's the blockade, like these are things that we're actually seeing take place. Like that's actually why Iran retaliated in the way we saw them retaliate this morning, because Donald Trump, decided to keep this blockade on, like they said. So, a lot of these things, we might have to leave the rest of them. Like I said, we got about 5 minutes left in the old show timey today until we can get on top of these things on the late show. But probably leave some of these clips. I know we had one here from Jen and Pumps. We had this one, but again, I don't like rushing through. I like, taking the time with these clips. So we'll probably have to dive into these. This one with James O'Brien as well from LBC. And what else? I think there was a couple more that I wanted to dive into as well. But what do you guys in the chat? Let me know what you guys in the chat think. Maybe that'll give us a good few minutes here to let me know, where do you guys think this is going? Where do you think this is going to end? Where do you think this, this distinct, escalation that we've seen at least today, where it's going to go? What's the response going to be from Trump? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Maybe we'll have a little convo before we head out of here for the day, or at least till tonight, I should say. Let me know. Yeah, Turby in there. What's up, Yakov? What's going on, brother? How are you guys? Yeah, Tina says, I enjoy the Lego videos. A lot of people do. A lot of people dig them, even if you're not, a fan of rap or a fan of Legos. It's still, pretty up to date, up to speed on what's actually taking place, the rumors, the news reports, everything that goes into it. So, a lot of people, especially the way that they're attacking Trump on Epstein, the way that they've been going after Kash Patel, the way they've been going after Erica Kirk and fucking Melania. Like, nobody's safe. Nobody's safe at this point. So, curious what you guys think. Yeah, Chris says complete disaster. Again, hard to disagree with that by any stretch of the imagination from what we've seen here. Again, I always say, if there's any MAGAs in the chat, there's any Republicans in the chat, conservatives, whatever you want to call yourselves, that still support either Donald Trump or support this war, like, by what metric are we better off? I was talking on a debate last night on TikTok, and to somebody that I repeatedly asked the question, like, you're for this, you think this is going to be a beneficial outcome. What is that outcome? You know what I mean? And all the kid kept saying was Iran was going to be weaker. Okay, well, what does that mean strictly, right? Because right now I'm not seeing any benefit for the Iranian people, right? Because they have the same hardlined, militaristic, close associations with the IRGC, a younger Ayatollah, a younger leader, right? Somebody that's going to be there, for a much longer period of time, considering the age discrepancy between him and his father. People that, a person that has had family members killed, has watched schools been bombed, his cities continuously bombed, right? This is not presenting a picture of a side that's going to be more agreeable, right? That's going to be more likely to treat dissenters and people that oppose the regime nicely. We've already seen that the same way that we saw in Venezuela, right? This all goes back to, these idiot fucking Republicans. Take a look at all the people celebrating, right? Look at all the Iranians and how happy they are. Look at the people outside of Iran and how happy they are that the Ayatollah is dead. And it's like, okay, like I said in Venezuela, I will take absolutely nothing away from the people celebrating, the people that have been oppressed, right? The people that have been, exposed to reprisals, the people that have been threatened, the people that have had their lives changed and harmed irreparably. Like, absolutely not will I take any of their celebratory mood or anything away from them for a second. But I will just advise you to beware, right? To beware, because like we say, the devil, sometimes the devil that you don't know is worse than the devil than you do know. You know what I mean? Like, the person may be terrible, he may be awful, but that instability, that chaotic situation, and the person that comes in next may be much worse. So just like we saw in Venezuela with the same regime in place, right? The reprisals to the opposition, the reprisals to the Venezuelans that got in the streets and were celebrating the removal of Maduro started almost immediately. Same thing here in Iran, right? Not only that, but like at the same time, you get Donald Trump pushing them closer as a unit, closer together by talking about, eliminating them as a civilization. Right, that doesn't have the effect of making the civilian population rise up against the government. If anything, it makes them, kind of closer, more aligned with the government that is, at least in rhetoric, trying to protect them, right? Trying to stop or mitigate the damages now being caused by the Israeli military or by the United States military. So it's one of those things. So I do appreciate you guys for watching. I thank everybody over on this space for everything that you guys do. Once again, I hope everything is okay with Matt. If anybody talks to him or sees him or has a conversation, let him know that Boston was thinking of him. Let him know. I hope hope everything's okay. So I appreciate you guys over on this space. Thank you to the mods over there. I'll kick it over to Jeff, my man, Jeff Waldorf, over on this space, I do believe. So I appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much to everybody over there, and I hope he kicks ass as he always does. Take it away, Jeffrey, my man. For everybody else, stay tuned over here on Blunt Politics so that we can thank everybody that sent in a Venmo, super chat, hit a milestone, anything like that as we do. So thanks to this space, and appreciate you, Jeff. Take it away, my man. All right. Appreciate you guys over here on the Blunt Politics side of things. You guys keeping this channel going. It's a real honor and a real privilege to be able to give you, any insights, any information, to have, a community like this on a consistent basis come back to watch the show, to come back to get highlights, to get news, to get opinions, to have a conversation in the chat. Like I said, it's a real honor and a privilege. I appreciate you guys to no ends, and I hope that is, portrayed. I hope that comes across in all of the, the different shows and the ways that I try to thank you guys. So let's see if we can see if anybody was nice enough to send a buck or two over on the old Venmo machine. Try to keep the lights on over here at Blunt Politics. Let's see here. Thank you so much to, thank you, Roxanne. Roxanne C was nice enough to send over a $5 billa. Thank you so much. Love to you. Hugs to you and the lobsters. Loves to Pops. Sending the best of vibes to you both. Thank you so much, Roxanne. Always good to see you. Always good to have you here, and I very much appreciate your contributions that you make to the channel. And then, as I like to do, people over the last couple days, Kathy A, thank you so much for the $2 contribution. Thank you so much to Yakov for the $5 contribution. Thank you so much to Damon. Good to see you guys last night in the Zoom meetup. Thank you so much for the 10. Thank you so much to Mike for the 2. Thank you so much to Jenny Faye for the 30 the other day. You guys are amazing. Roger, Karen, Barbara, all of the people over the last week or so. Oh, who's sneaking one in here? Yakov always tries to sneak one in. There he is. Yep, I figured it was you. Thank you so much, Yakov, for the 5. I really do appreciate all of your help, your support, your contributions, your generosity, all of it. I really do. That goes for everybody too. So thank you to everybody. The Venmo's up there in the corner. Again, you can just take a picture with that with your cell phone. Should take you right to the old Venmo account. A buck or two is all I ask for. Nothing above that, I should say everything above that is totally 100% on you. If you feel I deserve more, then again, thank you so much, and I very much appreciate it. But I understand the plight of the people. I understand the uncertainty of the times and how everybody's kind of holding on to those dollars, trying to wait for what comes next. So I completely understand if you can do the free stuff, right? If you can like, share, subscribe, throw a comment in the chat, not only now, but also when the video is posted afterwards. It's kind of two different things when it goes out live, and then I don't know, maybe a half hour afterwards, it kind of updates and gets posted to my site, and then you can go over and leave a permanent comment under the video as well. Share out the shorts that we've been trying to get. I'm kind of a hard judge of myself, so there's not always a show where I feel like there's a short, that I made that's available. But again, if I do actually make one from the live stream, see if you can share it out, if you can post it to Instagram, if you can post it to Blue Sky, if you can post it to Threads, if you can post it to Substack, if you can talk about the show on all those different platforms, that would be a huge boost as well. Again, don't be overpowering or overbearing in any of these chats. Don't disrupt, the content going on. But, if you're having a conversation with different people in these chats and you say, hey, if you like this type of content, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this guy. Give him a shot. I appreciate everybody giving me the shot. Obviously, at some point, you guys were here for the first time. So, thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you guys for coming back and the support that you guys have given the show. So again, I try to make sure that you guys guys are appreciated, because I know a lot of these channels don't do that. They expect you to do a ton. They expect you to, to contribute to all of the ads and the shit that they're selling you and the merch sites and stuff like that, without giving you the thank yous, without giving you the appreciation, without, recognizing how much you guys actually do. So I'm trying to change that a little bit. This isn't your average political podcast. I'm not your average political commentator, and I'm not your average lefty. I'm sure you guys have seen that already. So, all right, let's see if we can thank some people over here on YouTube, starting off with Carol. Thank you so much for the $5 contribution. Shout out to you, as always. I want salmon egg, ikra caviar. I know some in this chat will gladly join me. Love you, people. Some people will join you, my brother, but it ain't going to be me. I can tell you that much. It ain't going to be me. But, sounds delightful, sounds delectable, and I will happily drink the champagne that accompanies that caviar. So save some for me, if you will. But I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for your contributions, as always. Thank you so much, Petrazi. Good to see you. Salute, my friend, for the 5 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you guys. So W. Carol, W. Petrazi in the chat. W. Everybody that contributes, please. Let's make sure we're recognizing, appreciating, highlighting everybody that makes this show possible, continuously makes this show run. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to Jeff right after Petrazi for 19 months of loyalty. Love the way this hits. Thank you so much, Jeff. Very much appreciate you guys. I'm assuming you were talking about one of the Lego videos, as they do. Sorry, my nose is so itchy today. I apologize. Thank you so much to Just Saying. Gifted 5 memberships in the chat. You guys are fantastic. So that's another 10 people between you and Petrazi. 10 fantastic people in the chat that didn't have a membership before that now get a free membership for a month. So please, if you find some value in that membership, I know we have fantastic people here gifting memberships all the time. That is awesome, fantastic, and very, very helpful to the channel. But the people that get those gifted memberships, if you could, why all of a sudden I'm buffering? Buffering. Am I here? But again, anybody that's receiving any of those gifted chats, gifted memberships, if you could think about at the end of that month, if you found some value in it, if you find yourself coming back to the show to reamp, to redo that membership, that would go a long, long way as well. So Just Saying, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Blunt Front, thank you for the $10 contribution. I bet you had one hell of a 420. Hope you did as well. But I appreciate you for always being here. Thank you for the kind contribution. Thank you so much to JD, as always, for the let's fucking go. Putting that right in the switch. JD, much appreciated. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And then Jeff, just because he's fucking amazing, for the $2 contribution. Were you just blowing Crustacean Nation? Did I just blow me? Fuck. I try to get it. I try to change it up whenever I can, Jen. I'm sorry. My apologies. Now, this show just went from PG to X-rated just because of that one sentence. No, I appreciate you. And unfortunately, there was a ton that we didn't get to. So that sets us up for a good start for tonight's podcast, for tonight's live stream, stuff we already have to cover. And I'm sure there'll be no shortage of shit that happens between now and 8:30 p.m. tonight, which is when the show is. So make sure you hit that notification bell, please, on the way out. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on the way out. And again, whether that's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, or Substack, leave a comment, share it out. Whatever you guys can do to help this platform grow, I will be forever indebted and gratefully, forever grateful to all the help and support that you guys give. It's a slow roll. It's a long haul. We're gonna keep fucking chugging away the little fucking podcast that could here. We're trying to get to 20K, and it's only with your help that we're gonna get there. So very much appreciate all the help, the support. Thank you to all the mods. Terpy, good to see you. Thank you to Pops for all of your help and support. Shout out to the fam. All of you guys, love you very much. And I will see you guys tonight for the evening show, as it were. All right, I'm out of here. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Stay loud, stay proud, stay aggressive, but keep your head on a goddamn swivel out there. All right, make sure you're staying safe. We need you around. All right, I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here, and I'll see you tonight. Thank you. Oh shit, is he? I'll have to check out. Is he posting, or did he say something like on an interview?
you're drunk. You're drunk. Brian, you're drunk. You're drunk.
To officially name the undisputed, when did this come out? We're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Should I check it out?
Вітаю, Бостон Брайан. Мій позивний танцор. Я представник 72-ї бригади. Дякую тобі і твоїм підписникам за цей донат, за цю чудову машину, яка буде нас возити усіх на позиції, захищати Україну і наближати перемогу. Разом усі до перемоги. Дякую.
Oh, not what I expected. What happened, Colleen? What did we do? What did I mess up? My apologies. I feel like I did something wrong. I'm just kidding. We love you. Thank you, Colleen.
Undisputed champion of beautiful, clean coal. They're just getting acclimated. You know what that means, acclimated? For miners, do we love miners? I love miners. Here's a thought. Grow a sack, fill it with some balls. We're inviting Americans from all across the country to come. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. It's a new form of vicious violation to our country. God bless the United States. For the rest of my
Вітаю,
life, I
Бостон
have the
Брайан.
curse
Мій
that I
позивний
have.
танцор. Я представник 72-ї бригади. Дякую тобі і твоїм підписникам за цей донат, за цю чудову машину, яка буде нас возити усіх на позиції, захищати Україну і наближати перемогу. Разом усі до перемоги. Дякую.
My superpower is being honest. I will eat my neighbors.
You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know it very well. I've become an...
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular, and pitchers, I guess you could say, in really particular.